Hi guys, Tungsten here. So today we're going to talk about the front piece that I designed for the G01 Valkyrie. So I need that so that I can replace this front barrel that is provided. This is slightly larger, so I wanted to replace it with what we normally use. So this is something that I bought as well. So it actually comes with the spacer, as you can see in the back and the front over here. It is required because the old barrel is actually thicker, so they need it to accommodate the so-called the space, right? Okay, so I also designed something that can take the normal barrel, like you can see over here. This is actually from the Swift, the barrel from the Swift that's left over. I also have the spacer piece so that it can be fit at the back as well. Right, so once we change the barrel, you can see the seal is pretty okay. Yeah, so that's the motivation behind that as well. Alright, so you can see a more close-up look at the 3D design over here. I also included 2 fixing screws so that now instead of just 1 screw, you actually have 3. So that will kind of secure the front piece much better. Yeah, so with that I can also fit my kind of normal kind of scar barrel. So this is a bearing barrel. Okay, so it should be fine. So yeah, so that's the motivation. Again, the files will be uploaded to my Thingiverse. So let's look at the installation process. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is to remove this front piece with just 1 screw. Remove it. So I did a template over here to print out so that you can mark up the position of the 2 screws over here. So you can actually mark it out with your 3M screw. Then after that you can actually use a small drill to drill through the hole so that it's easier for your screw to go in. Yeah, so that once it's done, you can see these are the slot whereby your 3M screw can go in. Alright, so if you look at the Thingiverse, you'll see that there are a lot of design A, B, C and D. This is because there are kind of 2 types of barrel that's available for purchase. This is the one with the spacer, so if you want to print it out, you have to use the one that is for the spacer so that they have the space included. Now if you make a mistake and print the one for the spacer, you see that there is a gap over here, as you can see from here. Yeah, so you should be printing out this one that does not have the gap and you can go through it directly like this. Yeah, so I also designed a couple of other design as well. So yeah, for the one that that's like a Swift barrel, we also have the spacer, so remember to print out the spacer so that you can fit it in to accommodate the gap. So this one is the one that is entirely one piece. Again, there are a few versions. One's for the one with spacer, the other one is without spacer. So these are for people who just want the entire kind of design in one piece. This one is for separate pieces so that you can now print in different colors, so you can mix and match. I think give it a little bit of a variety so that the design will look kind of more interesting. Yeah, so it's up to you. Alright, so let's look at how to prepare this piece over here. When you print out, you realize that this place is actually flush. I did it in this manner so that it's easier to print without support. So what you need to do is you take your M4x12 screw, just screw it in all the way through. By the time you so-called get through it, you can see that once you screw all the way through, you'll get that piece in between removed, right? Yep, so now we are through, so we just need to now unscrew it and then just use a pincer to basically remove that very thin layer of 3D material, 3D printed material, and you are ready to go. Right, so over here, so I take a pincer so you can just remove that particular piece. So I did it this way again so that you can print without support over here. And of course you can put in your 2 3M screw at the side as well, just to prepare, thread it through a little bit so that later on it's easier to kind of thread through. Alright, we take a closer look at this piece over here. Again, there are a few designs. One of them is with the slot for the nut over here. This is for your M5 screw. So basically I designed it such that you can drop in a nut over here, and later on you can just use your M5 screw to kind of thread it through. You realize that putting in the nut is actually pretty difficult, so I'll say that is the toughest part if you want to implement it this way. I'll show you a way to do that. So this is where the M5 will go through. So as you tighten more, the nut itself is going to naturally pull down and then kind of use the friction to go against the 3D part. And I choose one with a rubber tip for the M5 screw so that it got a better friction and will not harm your barrel itself. Yep. Alright, so let's now try to put the nut inside. There are 2 below and 1 above, so I will do the 2 below first, and that's normally how I do it, and you'll see why, because you do need to flip it over. Now what I do is I have a few techniques. So one is of course use a pincer, kind of position it, but this will take some patience and some practice. Alright, yeah, so you have to probably attempt a few times. I find that now as you can see, it's not easy. I do have another design that doesn't use the nut. You can just use pure M5 screw. So if that's what you want, you can try it, but of course I think that will be less lasting in terms of the if you thread it in and use it a few times, I think it will not be that lasting. Yeah, so you have to position it quite well, and eventually you'll get it through. So once you have the patience and you got kind of position well, drop it in. Okay, as you can see, I'm trying pretty hard over here. Yeah, so I drop it in. Now what I need to do is I will use the so-called M5 screw. Yeah, just slot it in and thread it through. Right. Okay. So over here, hold it in position, kind of thread it through. You don't need to thread it all the way. In fact, I want some of the screws still exposed so that I can use a tape to kind of tape it from the outside. This is just to prevent the whole thing from dropping out once you flip it over. So remember, we do have 1, 2 below and 1 on top. So I'll do the one below first, and then the last kind of nut that I'll put in is the one that is on top. So previously the Valkyrie only have like 2 screws, right? So now this case I have 3. Another technique is of course use another M5 screw and then position the nut, and then kind of you can pull it down. Okay, sometimes this method is actually easier to achieve positioning of the nut itself. Yeah. Now if you have done, you can just thread through your kind of your barrel and remove all the tapes or whatever is there, and then just use one of the screw to just lightly tighten it so that you're not accidentally kind of fall off the and then you have to start all over again. Right, so once you're done, you can kind of prepare for the next stage. Okay, the next stage is of course just to put this piece in. Okay, remember we do have to have 2 M3 by 12 screw over here, and then this is actually a M4 by 12. I tried the M16. It's a little bit too long, but I only have M12, length 12 with me, so that's why I'm using the kind of M12. Not M12, length 12, right? Okay, I believe probably 13 and 14 may be suitable as well. So what I do is I prepare the 2 M3 screw first. Okay, then I'll place the M4 screw as well in position. Okay, once everything is ready, it's time to replace the barrel itself. Just pull it out and slot in the new barrel itself. Okay, so I will loosen the barrel a little bit so that it's easier to position. Kind of, you do want to position it nicely so that it's well fitted. So be careful of the end point over there, so the spaces must coincide, and then there you go in. And all you need to do now is, of course, to tighten up all the screws, right? So I will just slowly tighten maybe the top one first, right? Okay, now if you are tightening kind of halfway through and you realize that it's not tightening or something like that, you will probably have to check the back corresponding screw, right? It could be a case whereby there's a corresponding screw right at the other end of the blaster that is moving, right? So if that's the case, then you have to use another kind of a screwdriver to kind of hold that back screw in position, then tighten all the rest. Let me see, did I capture that in the video? I think I did. Yeah, so there is a corresponding screw at the back here. So if you realize no matter what you do is not tightening at all, that means the one at the back is actually moving. So you have to kind of make sure it's in position and then further tighten it this way, right? Okay, same case when you remove the back piece to swap out the spring, there are corresponding screw from the front. Okay, just have to make sure both ends are tightened and you should be good to go. Okay, so once you tighten everything, just do a double check. Okay, now we have 3 screws, so it's pretty sturdy, I would say, right? Okay, once you're done, prime your blaster, and now you can kind of tighten the 3 kind of lock screw that you have at the bottom. Okay, so now you have 3, so now you can tighten them all and all should be good to go. All right, okay, so again I choose those with a rubber tip so that it is kind of easier for your barrel. It won't kind of damage it, and in fact I think the friction might be better as well. So we have 3 of them, so I think it should be pretty secure. Yeah, okay, so that is more or less about it for this portion over here, right? Okay. So careful also not to use too much force. Okay, so you really have to gauge a little bit, okay, how much you want to go. The good thing is, of course, these are 3D printed. You can always print out another piece, right? So now you push it, prime it, test it. Okay, seems good. All right, okay, so with that piece installed, okay, make sure it's not moving or anything. Right, okay, then you can now more or less go ahead and prepare to just use your M3x8 screws to just fix the rest of the parts over here. Okay, the top and the bottom. Now of course if you use the one piece version, then you don't need to do this part, right? So I'll just do it off screen, and that's about it. So yeah, so this is the complete version. Yeah, so everything is under my Thingiverse. So I'm Tungsten, so thanks for watching, and if you like what I'm doing, do subscribe and hit the like button. Thank you.